Good evening and welcome. Today's Thursday, August 8th, 2019. This is a meeting of the Townsend Housing Authority. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Roll call.
Natalie.
This meeting is being recorded. Would you all please?
To the of America, for which it stands, one nation, indivisible.
I would like to thank all our veterans for their service, past and present. Chairman's this meeting. I don't really see anything. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay.
Don't.
What's that?
For Natalie's training.
Yes, I do have that.
Okay.
So why don't we put that? Why don't we put it for? 3.7 training.
3.3?
No, 3.7. Training information. And it's a request for NAHRO training.
What is that abbreviation for?
National Association of Housing. Is it NAHRO? Housing and Redevelopment?
In redevelopment, yeah. Organization.
Work for you.
It's what we signed up for the membership for
Yeah.
a month ago. Okay, appointments. 2.1, the general member seat vacancy. I have met with the Board of Selectmen on Tuesday, and it was a unanimous decision that they have accepted and voted for Courtney Borelli to be our new member. I talked a little bit about your credentials and what you would do to help us out, and they were very pleased to appoint you. So all we need to do now is to get you sworn in down at the clerk. And we should be ready to go. Good. So I welcome and thank you. I did say that you have been coming to most of our meetings this year, and they were very accepting. That they said they don't know whether to give congratulations or condolences, because that's usually what it is. But I'm looking forward to a lot of your help coming up.
So the only night they're open if you need it is Tuesdays?
Yeah, if I don't get there before, then I'll be there Tuesday.
She just came in from vacation, so.
On Thursday, I was texting
I understand.
Chaz. I was texting Chaz while I was taxiing in an airplane.
Yeah.
Tuesday
okay,
night.
cool.
Just like you were on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
I will get there.
2.2, I'll hold unless, do you know if Sheila's coming or?
I don't. And
Okay. Yep. We can, I did, she was on the email that I sent out and I didn't get any response back, so.
I think after the last meeting, it was her staff that actually got back to me because she wanted to come.
So anything that I have sent out, I've copied her as well, so she's aware of it. So we can start on the Section 3 work session 3.1. The BOS joint meeting read Town Council approval to discuss the THA reorganization and administrative appointment. The only thing that was on the agenda on Tuesday was Courtney's appointment. so I couldn't talk about any of the other things. But do you know anything about the administrative assistant appointment?
I was told that it was going to be on the 20th. She was going to be put on the agenda for the 20th.
For the selectmen?
Yes.
Okay.
And then what about, because at our last meeting, we voted to have you speak to the Board of Selectmen about 3.1.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yep, and I did. I let them know that they were looking to speak with you about it. That you were looking to speak with them about it.
Right, of the reorganization.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I had just
But no
assumed
answer.
it was on. I just assumed it was on the agenda.
Right, on it, but it wasn't. So what I plan on doing is I'm going to talk to our liaison about it to see. I don't know if it needs a formal vote or whatever. We just need approval. So
can I ask that the chair put it in writing?
yep.
And copy Lindsay and copy our liaison, since Lindsay's already given them the information and we've not heard back. So let's have a paper trail
Okay.
that we get an answer.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Any other comments in regards to that? 3.2, discussion Dudley Road feasibility study progress. Did everybody get one of these? Did you give everybody one of these?
Yeah, there was an extra one up there. Did you?
Lindsay and I have been talking in regards to this is what has been brought up to be put into the feasibility study. The Townsend Housing Authority is seeking an organization to conduct a feasibility study assessing housing development potential for a parcel of land located on Dudley Road. These are bullet points that we came up with that we wanted to make sure that we had in the feasibility study, the things that we are looking for. We're looking for a consultant to attend to the meetings and all of that, look for our input, and then to conduct what we need to conduct. And then on the back is what we're looking for exactly for them. It would be company background, a letter of good standing in Massachusetts, summary of at least 3 feasibility studies conducted, project approach, timeline, 3 references, a project fee, and resumes of key personnel. This is what we would be looking for.
Okay, so this is the outline, which looks good. And those are the qualifications,
Mhm.
which look good
Mhm.
for the money that we have had approved to get this feasibility study done.
Correct.
Okay, this is awesome. I think it's a really good next step. And do we have to make a motion to put an RFP out? Because this would be your
I mean,
RFP.
Well, I wasn't going to do an RFP. We were going to solicit quotes.
Right, we were going to solicit as opposed to RFP.
Mm-hmm.
So we have.
What's the difference?
There's kind of quite a big difference. Request for
RFP is a
proposal-
huge process.
It is, and it's kind of it's a bid where soliciting quotes, because of the amount that's there, it's under 50,000. We can just pick different organizations that we're interested in and solicit
Okay.
quotes, and then choose the best from.
Now, what is that, what the town administrator talks about, some kind of newsletter, or what is that when something goes out to bid?
It's a website through the state.
Right.
At Combuys, and it goes on that website. So then other agencies that are interested, or they can go and they can see what's up for bid.
Would it make sense that if we did solicit, let's say we chose, like we talked about, we chose 5 different organizations that we direct mailed them, and also put it on that to see if we get anybody from the outside? Can we do that or no?
I don't think you can do both.
Okay.
It's one or the other,
One
and it
or
goes
the
by the amount. So that's where if it's $50,000 or more, you have to do
The RFP.
the RFP.
Okay.
But if you don't, you can't put it out to more than one place? You can't solicit in more than one manner?
No, you can. I just don't think you can do, it's not, because whenever you do the bid process, you have to choose one of those bids. So you
Right.
can't solicit quotes and then
Ask for a
have
bid
ask for
process.
bid process. Because you, at the end, you have to choose somebody out of that, from your bid.
Yeah.
The RFP is for the bid,
Correct.
the open quote, but then I may have misunderstood. You said that there was a website where you could put it out there.
That's for the bids.
Right.
That's for the bids, so that's all one.
Okay, plus you can solicit. You can put it out on the website and you can't solicit.
Right.
You do one or the other.
One or the
Putting it
other.
on the website is part of the
Why wouldn't you
the
do both?
RFP.
Oh, putting it on the
Because-
website?
Yes, because you can't, because you have to, if you're gonna do the bid, you have to choose from someone within the bid.
Right. If we put it on the
Yes.
website,
Yes.
we have to choose what comes from that.
There's just two different ways of doing it, and
Right.
if it's under $50,000, you can solicit quotes, which is, it's
So
a
we're just
quicker
gonna solicit.
process, it's easier, and then you can kind of choose, like, you had suggested looking at some colleges. So
Yeah,
you can
that
kind of
was my-
cherry pick who you'd like to, who you're interested in working with, as opposed to if you get bids, they may not be any companies that, it may not be a college or, but you're required to pick out of, there's certain criteria.
Okay, so.
So you have a little bit more flexibility.
Right.
Soliciting quotes.
Right.
Okay. So you can solicit as many as you want.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay.
So the next step would be, we need to find out who we're going to solicit to.
Yep, and you had
Okay.
said 6,
Yeah.
right? We had said
Roughly.
before, well,
That's what we said, 6 would be a good number to be able to, unless you want more.
Well, here's the thing. What if we put out for 6 and we only get 3, or we only get 2?
well, 3 is what you're supposed to do. So I think
I
if we
get
double
that.
that, yeah.
But is there a point where, like, if you do 6 and you only get 3, like you said, that we could continue and put it out to more? Or did, if you have...
Yeah, because then I think you can still solicit to whoever you'd like to get.
Because if
to
we
get
don't do the
some
bid
quotes.
process, we don't have to have a deadline on it, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
it'll be
the
our
difference.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't want to close it.
Mhm.
I didn't want to have it be so small that we
We don't get.
don't get
Mhm.
at least 3.
Sure.
And
That
is
was my
there-
concern.
Yeah, in mine too, because there may be opportunities that we don't see.
Mhm.
Is there
Yeah.
some sort of publication that we can post in, or how would we be able to get it, not as a bid process, but as, this is what we're doing,
put it
this is
out
what
there.
we're looking for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some sites out there, something.
That we would just be soliciting,
Mm-hmm.
and they could contact here.
And then you could send
for
out
the
a bid
information.
package, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can even get 8 if you're more comfortable with looking for 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I would rather see 4 come in,
Mm-hmm.
and we look at them and say, okay, we're only going to look at these 3,
Mhm.
or we're going to concentrate on those 3.
Right.
Rather than putting out to 8 and only getting 2, and then we have to go look for another one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my thinking was.
Mhm. And then, of course, if there's anybody that's willing to donate land, time, or money to us, we're more than willing to take that as well.
That can be a footnote
Yes.
on everything we send out.
Yes, when it comes to something like that, we're more than open for that. But I think that would work. So let's put our own feet to the fire. When do we want to each come up with something? Do we want? No, we had talked a few of the few ones that we did. Do you want to do you have that list that
So
we
we
talked
had
about?
the Conway School, they
Yeah.
were one of them. The agency, I believe it's XFM, that's working on the master plan on economic development.
Mm-hmm.
UMass Lowell,
Mm-hmm.
I think those were the 3.
we have a quote already from MRPC, and I'm wondering if we should just resend that back to them so that they could read, because that
Update
quote,
it.
yeah, that quote was a while ago. I think it was in 2014 or 2015, I can't remember. So we might want to resend it back out to them.
Okay, Wentworth, that was another one.
Yeah, Wentworth, I remember that.
Any suggestion?
I think my biggest concern about the schools is that I don't know if they'll be able to physically answer all of these questions that are on here.
Yeah.
Just because of the, especially with some of the, architecture and planning, there's such a regimented course schedule that I'm not sure that they'd be able to answer all of these. That's my only worry about them. I think they're great for probably pieces of these, but I'm not sure you could get a full comprehensive answer to all of these questions.
Yeah.
Even with somebody going for their master's in something? Because it's a little...
Yeah. My only worry, especially with the financial portions of it, is that they may not have the experience to be able to answer those.
Yeah.
I think they could definitely do a lot of the conceptual drawings, the design options, those type of things. They could probably even look at what type of population things, but I'm worried that they would not be able to answer appropriately the financial questions.
What about BAC?
Possibly. They do have...
Because that's a master's program, isn't it?
It is, and BAC, they actually require you to be working in an office while you're taking courses, so it's structured much differently than a traditional architecture program. So that person theoretically is working in an office and doing their master's at the same time. But I think that they would have to take it on like a thesis project.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we would have to just make sure that that fits within their curriculum. Like our timeline for when we need it would actually, they'd be able to meet it. But I do know quite a few people at the BAC and teaching at BAC that we might be able to find out who we can
So
talk to
can we
about
put
that.
Boston Architectural Center on that? I think that's a good route to take too.
I do
Because
know-
if they are working
yeah.
on maybe public planning or something like that, that
Yeah.
would fit in well.
I do know a couple of people that are working in offices that do similar housing work too, so I might be able to reach out to them to find out if this is something that they think that.
Can you do something like that before we set a deadline? Because we don't have to set the deadline tonight, but certainly we can do the groundwork to find out what's feasible.
Well, another thought that I had in line with that is that, we could really go a little outside of the box and have a student would be able to do the drawings and all of that kind of stuff for us on one side, and then MRPC has all the use another company for the...
Could try to do a partnership.
Yeah. I mean, we could do something
Try to
like
help
that
with the
as well.
financial questions.
That because we're also looking for like the population and what that kind of stuff, incomes necessary for approvals and all of that kind of stuff could be done separate instead of one company doing all of it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Hmm?
I'm good with that.
So, and that way we can control the costs a little bit more too, doing it that way. So where do we want to go? We want to go for what you have and come up with more, and we'll just email you if we have ideas. And when do you want them in by? And then you can.
Well, the sooner you get them in by, then the sooner we can.
I would see
Get it
what
all
Courtney
out there.
can find out, and then set a deadline after, because what you can explore first may come back very positive or not.
Right.
And that may
Yeah.
make us go in other areas.
Look in other places.
And
Yeah.
as far as MRPC goes, the quote is old, and I agree with piecing it up. I mean, maybe it comes back at 40.
Yeah.
And so then we have to look for other things to get
To cut it down.
gratis to cut it down.
Okay.
And still maybe give a student somewhere ability to use.
Well, and
report.
some of this stuff we could, because I know that some of this stuff I know that somebody could help us out with it that is already offered for it. Like Kevin does a lot of stuff like that, doesn't he?
I mean, I know a few people that might, like donate their time in reference to the land value
Mhm.
and analysis and development scenarios.
And that's what I'm kind
I
of
thought
thinking
about it. I
too, that
did
we,
too.
yep, I agree. I think that that's,
What is the market? I mean, I can talk to some of those things.
because I think what we ran into before in one of our, I personally feel that the more prepared we are when we head into town meeting, when we come to the final warrant article proposal, I want to make sure that we have all our T's crossed and I's dotted, so that if there's any questions, we have it all right there. You know, there's going to be no question about it. I'd also like to hold whatever the informational, you know, all of this stuff well before the vote even comes, so that everybody is on the same page. And that's really what I'm gunning for, to make sure that we have everything taken care of, that with this feasibility study, and we're able to we're able to know exactly what we need, and know what we need to market for as far as a partner, finding a partner.
So one of the preliminary things would be to try to talk to the Board of Health and get test holes done. If the feasibility study is to be for this particular property, we need to know how feasible the septic systems are, and where we can put them, and how many bedrooms they would accommodate, because it doesn't go by bathrooms, it goes by bedrooms. So I think that's one of the first things as far as any property would go, because we did that once with the property off of Timberley Park there, South Row Road, that was kind of landlocked, and George Sullivan was part of that, and Kevin was part of that with the test holes, and you know, they all failed. So it was a big parcel of land, but it couldn't be used.
Right.
So I think, having said that, that that's one of the first things we have to go after and see who would do that, because
You can't build if that's not
no,
right.
if you're right. So I think we have to know that. I'm not real worried, because we obviously have built 50 and then 36 units, bedrooms, because there are no twos. There are only ones, and the studio would count as one. So I think that it will be fine, but I think we have to know what is the maximum
Right.
that we can get on that property, being the remainder. So once we know that, we know we can develop the scenarios of what we want to put there.
Correct. And that's,
We can't do the scenarios without knowing if the land is good enough to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You
And
know?
you don't want to waste the time on, and the
Right.
$50,000 that you do have on a piece of property that can't be
Right.
used.
right.
Yeah.
So
So I think that's first, really.
in order to put the horse before the cart, is it Board of Health that we need to be looking at?
Yeah.
And then, I know Kevin had already offered his services.
Yeah, and I think that maybe George would as well. For you do engineering, you do
Architecture.
Architecture. So, yeah. So I think George and Kevin would work together on that. I think Rick Metcalf would work with us on that. If you want, I'll talk to Rick Metcalf
Okay.
and see what kind of schedule he would suggest we do for the parcel. Maybe he'll look at the parcel first and then give us his opinion of what he thinks, and then we get George and Kevin out there. George and Kevin, who have both been out there already. Were you with them? Because I know they did this, you know, during one of my surgeries, so I wasn't out there.
It was Karen
Chapman.
and myself and George and Kevin.
Okay, so So now, if we get that same group together and talk with Rick Metcalf.
Okay. All right.
Because we know what the parcel looks like, we know how big it is, and then they're doing overlays now for conservation and zoning, right? Map overlays, so that conservation, so that you would see what wetlands are there and stuff like that, where we have to stay away from. And then once you see that, then they decide where they test.
Right. And then depending upon how we do it, we can, if we go for a comprehensive permit or however that works, we would know. Because didn't we do that with Karen? We had a wildlife, because I remember seeing it. I remember seeing from where that one little trickle of water is. And then we did a wildlife thing on top of that.
There is water and wildlife on
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
No, but I can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we
So
had
that's-
maps like that Karen had already done with those.
Okay, so that's maybe presented to Rick Metcalf and get his thoughts, and then do the testing.
Okay. And we can do that in conjunction with us sending, or should we wait?
Well, you can always get the
I
solicited
think we
quote
can
and
get
not
the
move
bids,
forward, right?
but before we act on the plans or scenarios, we have to know how many units we can get.
Right, and I'm trying to crunch down the timeline here. So if we do this and we also solicit at the same time, we don't have to tell them until we get all this done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, I think you might run into, if it's listed on here as something we're looking for though, and they come back and say that they can do it and they have a set price, I just don't know how it would be, if then we say, oh, but we don't need you to do X, Y, and Z, now what's the cost gonna be? I think it might be different for whatever the organization is.
But you could put in here that we want them to break that out separately as a piece of their price. I mean, that's a kind of a
That's
common,
yeah, that's a
a
good
common
idea.
thing.
That's a good idea.
That way you can pull the line item or not.
But the key one here, and we may not want them to do this, so you may want to pull this one out separately, is development scenarios.
Yeah.
Because we can't do that until what will impact be to sewer and Title V. So actually, that one comes first. What will impact be to sewer and Title V? Because you have to do all those testings and when you do the testings, when you do the overlay, you see where you can't test, and then after you test, you see how many units you can get. So that really is number one. Really not concerned about land value and analysis. You might separate that one out. And then the development scenarios, I would break that one out too, because I think we should have a lot of input into the development scenarios once we have the capacity of what we can do. Because say the unit number, it becomes, and we may end up doing it in phases because it's a larger parcel. So say the unit numbers come out lower than we think we'd like. For septics, you can end up with a rec building. You can end up with your invisible services building. You can end up with a lot of other buildings, maybe, and built in phases that will not affect the septic.
Clubhouse or something like that.
So there are things we can do once we know the amount of units that we can get on the property, because it may mean more than one septic system also. We're looking at 11 acres, that's a lot, you know, because the other buildings are only on 2 or 3. So I think that's where the conceptuals come in. Once we know how many bedrooms we can get out of that last parcel.
Which the parcel is, it kind of goes up and around.
Yeah.
And there is a good portion of that that is in natural heritage.
That we can't use.
Correct. Or not to say that you can't use it, but it's going to have to be permitted, and it might, you know, there's just certain conditions around it.
Okay, so that would be part of the scenarios, once we know if...
What national heritage? That's the first I've heard of that.
Yep, it's in priority habitat.
Excuse me, ignorance. Turtles?
I don't
What is
know
it?
what the species, I don't know
Oh.
the exact species, and we're not supposed to say what the species are either. But
Why, is that discriminatory?
you just can't say what it is, say what they are.
It's not politically correct?
It's, no, it's not, you just can't, because in case somebody's like poachers or whatnot.
They're looking for them.
So, yeah, so you're not supposed to say what they are in case somebody's going, then they know where they are and they can go.
But
Oh my God.
this is
Yeah.
the first I've heard of it, and we've been looking at this land now for 6 years, and this is the first I've heard of this.
I just assumed you knew
Can never
that there was
assume.
some, that there,
So Sheila.
you're right, so there is a portion that's in it. And it's, again, it's not saying that you can't build there, there's just gonna be, it's extra permitting, and then there's usually conditions.
Right, and
Especially
I want to know
conditions.
when was this and when was this?
Well, unlike what we did before, the thoughts and votes of the Housing Authority have been to, that the future of the Housing Authority is going to actually be the management of what ends up being, we're going to own it, of what ends up being there. So whatever we go after to do on this parcel of land will be owned by the town. So we would hope we could not necessarily reach a compromise with the town or the zoning, but just be able to show where the benefits are and that they may not be harmful.
Well, we went in front of the Conservation Commission in regards to a land swap. And if that was on there, they would have said something to us at that particular time.
No,
No,
this has
they
nothing to
wouldn't
do with
allow that.
conservation, this is the state.
Right. But we had that clear. I'm positive we had all that cleared. That there was none of that.
There is a small portion on one of the sides.
And we couldn't do the land swap because it was going to be, we decided to like let that go because it was going to be part of open space preservation. And it was,
Well, that was more than that, but...
Yeah, so...
So again, it's not saying that
I
you
just
can't,
know
there's
it's-
just
yeah,
there's extra
it-
permitting, and typically you can only do work from like November to May, or depending on what species is out there, so when it's not active or whatnot, so that's all, it's just extra permitting, just extra stuff that you have to do in order to build.
Okay, well, I'm sure it can be coordinated.
Of course, of course.
You know,
No, it can,
between the
and
different
it's not,
departments.
I'm just kind of like, because we went through, I remember 4 years ago with Karen, that we went through all of the wildlife, through all of that, and I'm just,
And you don't, and there wasn't there, and they
I'm
do
baffled.
update their maps, so it could have been updated since the last time you've done it, but when
which
I
is,
last
that's why I'm
checked.
saying this.
Yeah, but the last time
Because we
I
looked at
checked,
migratory
there was.
birds, we went through all of that, and we layered everything through GIS to make sure that, you know, everything fit, so. Oh, yet another curveball. So how do we want to then prioritize this? So what do you think? Talk with Kevin and George
Rick.
and Rick.
that Lindsay's going to get the overlay plan to Rick. Rick is going to make a suggestion of where we go for test holes. And then we present that to Kevin and George.
Okay.
Once we have that, we can ask them to come to a meeting.
Okay.
But that's the first step.
Okay. So do that before we even send this out. Well, we'll wait because Courtney's gonna.
Yeah, according to
Talk
that.
to the school.
And then we can send that out, and then we can find out from, I mean, at the same time, find out from Rick, get that, see if George and Kevin will come in to see us, get their opinion, set test dates. As part of the feasibility study, will our testing be part, can we get the, I think in the other two projects, there were no fees attached to the testing and the permits because it was town-owned. So that being the case, we wouldn't have to take that from, but we should verify that. We didn't have to have additional funds, and that's what I'm saying. We have this for the study, but that part of the study, I don't think we have to pay for the permit.
No, typically they'll waive them. You still have to go through the process, but
Yes,
they'll just
yes,
waive
but it's the
fees.
town taking the town's money, basically, for something that's for the town.
Yes.
Okay. Just talked myself around that. To get the answer. Okay.
What's the ideal time that this feasibility study is completed?
I'd like to have it done this year before,
Yeah, before the
November.
next annual.
When's that then?
in the spring.
In the spring, May. Because
So-
I don't think we'll be ready for the special for the whole plan. The special will be to take the lot out,
Yep.
get that going,
Yep.
another bylaw changes, and then, so by the next annual meeting, hopefully we have this plan to present to the town. Hopefully by then, the lot is extracted.
Yeah. I
And
just
that's
want
what Lindsay and I were talking
Yeah.
about, that the timeline is that we, in the fall, if we can get this done before snow flies, let's say.
This part.
Yes, the feasibility done. That'll give us, over the winter to the spring meeting, to be able to compile a presentation so that we can present it to the town at the town meeting. But we'd like to, in the fall, we'll also have an article to have the land extracted to put to Board of Selectmen so that we are able to, once that happens in the spring, then we are able to start the process of building.
Well, the Board of Selectmen already approved us extracting it. We just have, now
It
it's
gives
supposed to
the-
be a warrant article by the town.
Right, but this gives them the permission to allow us to actually go forward to build.
The warrant article.
Yeah, yeah. That we're gonna do this fall to get it
Yeah.
extracted. So my hope is that that's probably gonna take 6 months or 8 months. So by the time that, hopefully it's sooner, but by the time that is adjudicated, we should have a company, we should be seeking partners to partner with the actual build by that point.
So hopefully the testing is done.
And the reason why I'm asking is just because, I can still ask, but a lot of thesis in a lot of these schools are 2 to 3 semesters, which is why I'm asking. So my concern is that they wouldn't actually be done by the time we need it. But I will find out what their curriculum is like
Okay.
so that we can understand that better.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. How long is the semesters?
September.
At Wentworth, it was, you did, in your thesis, you basically wrote what your thesis was going to be, is all completely writing from September to December. And then you actually did the design portion from January to April.
Okay.
And then my understanding with BAC is that it's 3, but I could be wrong. So I will find out.
Okay.
I mean, April timeframe would work. And
But what I mean is like these things, like probably these conceptual drawings and things like that wouldn't happen till the spring. That would be my worry. Is that we wouldn't have with a school, we may not have this complete package until the end of the spring semester.
We might be able to test in the fall. Find out from Rick when is the latest we can test on new developments, which is different than if somebody had a failure. Once we know that and what Rick has to say about where we can test, we should meet and have them, Kevin and George, come in and get the testing booked as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because then we can start our conceptuals. Or thinking of what we want once the testing is done.
Right. So, Courtney, what we're the two things. Well, the one thing that we are concerned about is after this is done, and then we make some decisions on where we want to go and what we want to do. We then, as a board, have to put together a proposal that we need to propose to the town.
Right.
It could be in the spring or the annual town meeting, or if they have a special town meeting in the fall, we could do it either or.
Yeah.
So the things that Lori and I are trying to figure out is what can we do that we can put together for the spring.
Get here and then hit some here.
Right.
Got it.
Right, if we need to do it both ways.
Yeah.
But there's also, once this is complete and we have some decisions, it has to be fluid because I want to be able to hold public forums. I want to be able to get it out to the public, get feedback from them, maybe change some of what we do before we even go to town vote.
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of sort of the timeline, and I just want to make sure that we're streamlining everything. The last project took us, what, 7 years was that? For the last senior project. So the more we can do on our own, we also have some other restructuring that we may have to do. There's other legal issues that we're going to need to contend with. So I think I want to find the easier, softer way to do a lot of this. So are we okay with that? Housing, 3.3 Housing Production Plan, Public Forum. It's been agreed Saturday, October 5th, 2019, between 10 and 2. I have flyers here that we passed out at the National Night Out, which was a good thing. Is there anything that we're going to be needing for that?
Well, I know Lindsay and I talked about getting letters out to a couple of businesses to solicit, to put a basket together for the forum.
Okay.
We're going to do a letter to send, to the TBA about putting, just doing something for that.
Townsend Business Association.
Townsend Business Association, do a formal letter and also a letter to Al and Pamela Mariano. We'll figure out how much food we need to, get and everything else like that. Again, we do have the, monies to do that with. So we just got to do a letter.
Okay.
Or just go personally talk with them, whatever's easier.
We're also looking to see if we can get the flyer into the water bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the fight you can.
I think I can actually get it in the next taxed one
Okay.
because of how we had to push it off. And I think that might be a better option because I haven't been able to get a hold of anybody recently at the water department.
Yeah, because the next tax bill that comes out,
September.
perfect.
That works really well, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So you have the electronic copy of that, so we don't need anything else, right? Good.
So this goes in there, and then this explanation here, we can just have at the forum.
Yes. Yep.
Because we can explain it too, rather than them just trying to read it.
Yep. In here, I'd like to do a presentation on that, if we can. A quick
Yes.
presentation on it, yeah, absolutely.
I just said that.
The more we get out into the public, the better, I
Yeah.
think. That's my goal.
Okay.
So, food,
Flowers.
flowers,
Stewards.
and
Donations.
yeah, donations.
Basket. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
the
we could have
basket.
some raffles
Yeah.
and...
Yeah, bottled water.
Yes.
Anything else you need on that?
No, that should be all we need.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the round tables, like you said.
Yep. 3.4, National Night Out. What do you think, Nat?
Had a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a good crowd, a lot of people.
Did they have a count of the people that came through?
You know, I don't know.
I don't
I'll have to check in with the chief and
There was
see.
a lot of people.
There was a lot
They
of.
Yeah, there was
sold
a good
out.
turnout.
They sold out.
They had a magician in the thing, and I was like, well, I just want to go over and take a look at what the auditorium looked like. It was packed.
Yeah.
It was
Dancing.
packed. Yeah.
They had
I didn't get to go
dancing,
over there, yeah.
Yep. They had the dance school that was there. They had those
bubble thing.
yeah, those big bubble things that people get in and bounce off
Yeah.
each other.
And what?
They had a
Maple, Maple.
Mapledale Farm.
They were there.
Yeah. Mapledale.
Mapledale, excuse me.
They had BMX bike
Yeah.
exhibition.
A lot of
Those
stuff
kids
was
were.
going
Yeah.
on.
They did
There's
face
a lot of
painting.
stuff that was going on, yeah.
There's a face painting next to our table, so there were lions and tigers and bears. Yeah, it was quite interesting.
And we had the the VFW tables that was going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you saw a lot of people.
It was packed all the way until 8:30.
Yeah.
People were still,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it was a good turnout, really a good night out.
E25 I packed up and gone.
It's like,
So
we're
how
out of
many
here.
tables?
Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
30?
I'd say, what?
I'd
Yeah,
say
30.
50,
50?
yeah, 30,
50,
yeah,
30,
maybe about
50,
30 to
something like that.
50.
There was
Yeah,
a
that's a
lot.
good amount.
There was a
Yeah.
lot.
Between, out, and because they were outside, as
Yeah, that's
people
right,
outside as
yeah.
well.
But it wasn't just Townsend. There was a Chelmsford Women's Auxiliary from a church that was selling handmade stuff. That had there was candy. There was Princess House
Yeah, there was-
stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a
Oh,
lot of different stuff. Yeah.
Lindsay Moran was there with her A.B. White.
Yep.
Senior Center.
Yep.
All the organizations were there. Most of the organizations were there
Yeah.
from town too. We had a couple
Town clerk was there.
Yeah.
I think there was another one that was there.
Historical was there.
Conservation,
Yep.
Yeah,
Townsend.
the
Well, the Historical Society was
Yes,
there.
historical. We had the Lions. We had the BFW.
Yeah,
we had-
there was a big turnout.
It was nice. It was spread out, nice and spread
And it
out.
was air conditioned.
No, it wasn't.
That's great for.
It was hot.
Like location-wise,
It was
parking-wise.
perfect. People started getting there
Good
at 4.
venue for them.
Mm-hmm.
We got there at 4.
Do you guys get any questions that you,
Who are
hard ones or?
I didn't know
besides that?
Townsend had a housing
Yeah.
authority. That was the biggest
The
question.
biggest question.
We had a nice tablecloth. It was perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was
Gave
nice.
away a lot of candy, our candy too. We had, what were those?
Dum-dums.
Tootsie Roll. We had the small Tootsie Rolls.
And
Those were very
dum-dums.
popular.
And the dum-dums.
And the Dum-Dums.
Lollipops.
So I'm very happy. Chief Bailey, I know, was very happy. He was
Yeah.
walking around like,
A
it was,
rooster.
it was good. It really was good.
Yeah, it was there was nobody had any problems or anything.
3.5, correspondence and clerk's announcements.
Unless you saw us, I checked, but you.
I'm gonna add this to I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna add this to the clerk's announcements. Natalie wanted to go to the NAHRO. I want to talk about that here. I don't have a problem with the training on it, but my only concern is that the seminars were, the session would cover hiring of an executive director, evaluation of an executive director, liability issues with regards to personnel matters, and executive director contracts. Those are all things that we don't really, we're not even.
That's like Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like not even what ours. And then this one too is a development of a budget, role of the board of a fee accountant, reporting to a fee accountant. If we were our own housing authority,
Then I'd say yes.
then I would say absolutely we
Okay.
need to do that, but for right now,
Please.
I will suggest to definitely keep looking.
Oh,
You know, and
Lindsay
stuff
sent
like
them
this.
today.
Yep.
No, that's fine. You know,
That's my thought on it. I don't know if you had any thoughts, Lori.
I just listened to what you said,
That's
and I don't
fine.
think we don't have anything that we do with that.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
I said that not yet. But you're in the right ballpark.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
Because that's what we're kind of, the goal right now is to be able to retain as much autonomy as we can as a housing authority, but also create income for the town. And if we are able to reorganize and do what we are thinking is going to be in the best in the best practice for a housing authority, we would be able to manage, like Lori said earlier, manage those buildings, and we would have to be able to look at stuff like that. The next is the expenditure ledger. Look at this, Lori. Number 2, now they want us to sign to say that we've looked at it. So we haven't spent anything yet, but we really did. It just didn't hit that budget cycle.
Okay. Looks like we did a good job.
Yeah, we did. So I'm just going to sign for July. I think that's all it is, right?
And this is
for
for
July.
the-
That's for what I just talked about.
Oh, so we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that may come up in the future.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep a copy of that. And then this, I assume.
I can return
Do you
it
want
to the account for you.
Thank you. Anything else as far as announcements are concerned? I think we should keep an eye out, like we had talked about, in regards to what's coming up for the town common too,
Yeah.
so that we can continue on being.
They're over there now.
Yeah.
Right.
But I want any fairs, any fall fairs, anything else that are coming up.
I'll get it from Karen.
Yeah.
I'll ask Karen.
That would be good, because I want to be able to keep our name out in front of the public as much as
Well,
possible.
you can bring some of those, some of that information over to the senior center,
Yes.
just because.
Well, can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I can bring it over tomorrow. Give it to Karen. Okay, 'cause, I'll see her, I'll go by and see her tomorrow. At the
I have
senior
a
center.
copy of that. I don't have any electronic ones.
And I haven't even seen I didn't see anything to do with the minutes. I haven't even. Do we have any minutes that are done? I was supposed to put them on letterhead, wasn't I?
Uh-huh. I think so.
I don't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, they just had to be
I think they
reformatted.
were,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they were
Yeah.
done and I had sent them out.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't print them out.
We didn't print them out.
Yeah.
Oh, have they been reformatted?
I believe I put them on. I think I did with them.
Yeah.
It was just so long ago.
Yeah.
So, and is this the one that did I do the last minutes?
Yes. Yeah.
And
The last month's minutes.
do we vote on those?
July.
No, they should be on the list. Everybody got the draft so that you could go to the meeting with it.
Yep.
I'm
No, I
pretty
thought-
sure
did
I
you-
did it while the meeting was going on and then just sent it out to everybody as a draft.
Right. Did you
I
send it out as a
didn't-
draft? I thought we voted on it. I thought we voted on it. Because I did attach those.
I hate my computer. It just doesn't think like I do.
Yeah.
Our last meeting was
July.
the 25th.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't that long ago.
No.
Right. We did. Lori did the meetings right
Mhm.
in the minutes, right in the meeting.
Yep.
And I thought I attached it.
I think you did.
I thought I did.
I know, I think, I remember seeing it. Okay, we'll have to check and see.
My July 16th of 2018 comes up. Oh, it was our field trip.
That was last year.
The soldier on one?
That was last year.
Yeah, I know I did it.
Yeah, you're right there doing them.
Can you ask Siri?
Right.
Siri. Oh,
On the
yeah.
Apple?
Yeah. Or Alexa.
Didn't we, I thought we, in that meeting, I thought we voted to approve them.
You did.
That's why we sent, that's why it was,
Let's just table it for now then.
Yeah,
Let's just
fine.
table.
well,
Does anybody, I had to have sent them to somebody.
you did, you sent them to me.
Okay, then they're there.
Then
We
they-
have them, I have them.
Okay,
And I thought we preliminarily approved them,
well, they would
didn't we?
be in the minutes of that
Yeah, I know we
meeting
did.
then.
Right.
So,
I know we did.
somebody's gotta find them because.
I have them, I definitely have them, so I'll look at it and I'll send it to you. I'm sure.
I have them approved.
I thought we approved it, and I thought I attached it
Um,
to
Whatever.
the email that I sent you that asking to get on the Board of Selectmen agenda. Did I think I attached it to that? No?
No, just the
Maybe I
agenda.
attached it in there
Yeah, because you
up
just
here.
attached the agenda.
I think I thought I did, but I didn't. I didn't actually attach it. All right, I'm gonna look at that. From 7:25. All right. And you said that on the 20th is the BOS meeting?
Yes.
I can't find it in here, so if you could,
And on the BOS meeting on the 20th, that is when the administrative is going to be on the agenda?
Yes. That's what I was told.
Okay, so what's the process on that? They just say yes and that's it? And then,
Yes.
okay, and then she'll contact, or he'll contact whoever?
Mm-hmm.
All right, is that how it works? Okay. So I'll keep I may come in on the 20th just for that.
yeah, because we already discussed what that person could be doing as far as organizing all the papers.
Yep.
Besides this stuff.
Yeah. The computer stuff and the records and, yep, I agree. I also want them to start with a database too, so that we have a database of email addresses that we send out things that people are interested in. Also, I wanted to, under the announcements, I wanted to put that their town council is going to be here on the 27th of August between 6 and 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry, not here, in the library for the open meeting law seminar and training. I will be going to
I have
that.
that in my calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, are you going to go too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to go
Yes.
too? Do we need to
August
post if we're
27th.
going to go together, or?
Wait, what day is that on?
I don't think you should have to because, I mean, you're not
We're
discussing
not gonna sit together and
anything.
have a
It's-
meeting.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, I can't.
a training.
Like doggy training.
Courtney, it's a open meeting law training that talks about agendas and minutes and all of that kind of stuff. It's a nitty-gritty thing. If you can make it, it would be great.
Yeah, I
You
have
said
to get
6 to
your
8,
email
right?
Yeah, 6 to 8 in the Library Senior Center.
And that doesn't qualify. She still has to take the test online.
Correct.
But
That's
actually,
for
I'll help you
ethics.
with that.
Ethics, right.
So, next meeting? We are going to September. You said first Thursday of the month is MRPC, Lori? Is that right?
Yeah, and
So-
we were gonna stick to Thursday, so.
The 12th?
I'm probably in Cincinnati on the 12th.
You what?
I'm probably in Cincinnati on the 12th for work.
Okay.
I'm hoping I'm gone the next week.
You're going on the 19th?
Yeah, I hope I'm not here that week.
That would leave the 26th?
No, I'll be out of town.
You might have to go back to a Tuesday.
I'll be out of town that week.
We were avoiding Wednesday because of Sheila.
Right.
So,
That's right.
what's the date on the first Tuesday?
The 3rd.
I got doggy training.
Monday's the Labor Day.
Right.
Yeah.
So the following Tuesday?
I have doggy training.
Every Tuesday?
For 5 weeks starting Tuesday. This Tuesday, it's only for 5 weeks. Starting this coming Tuesday, I got doggy training.
So like 13th, 20th,
Yeah,
27th, 30th.
I can't get them the 10th. I start this Tuesday.
So the 17th?
Yes.
Where are you gone the week? Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be here and you won't be
So then
here.
the
Because I'm
Wednesday?
looking to be
I'm free
away
on Wednesdays.
This one?
in September. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hoping. Do the 24th?
I'll be gone that week. I'm in North Carolina.
This is never gonna work.
I'm in North Carolina from the 21st to the 28th.
Usually this only happens in the summer, guys.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, and that's September.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be here on the 24th?
It's only the 11th and 12th that I'm not here.
Okay.
That I'm
Okay.
gone.
Are you available on the 10th?
I'm available.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be 3, we'll
10th.
be a quorum.
I got doggy.
Well, who's not?
Me, I got doggy.
She's got doggy
Oh.
training.
Oh,
I got doggy training.
yeah, we can do the 10th
We
if
could
you're
do the
okay.
10th if
Yeah.
you're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Oh.
of course, Tuesdays are the nights of the selectmen's meetings. So, I don't know if they'll do one that night or not, but if there is one, I would have to be committed
Yeah.
to that.
They're
Okay.
I believe aren't they the second? First,
Well, the 10th
The 10th is the
Second.
2nd.
Okay.
Are you available on the 3rd?
Yeah.
You're
Me too.
available on the 3rd?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're available on the
Yes.
3rd?
You don't have doggy
No,
training?
that's why I got doggy training.
What about Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm available on Wednesday the 4th.
The
Yes.
concern is that I'm trying to get Sheila in here, and she's in session on Wednesdays.
What
Okay.
about the 5th? Did we say there was something we couldn't do on the 5th?
Thursday.
I'm open on the 5th,
I'm open on the 5th.
Thursday.
I'm at RMPC.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's where
Darn
we
it.
started. Yeah, that's actually your first statement.
first?
How about the 12th?
I'm not here.
Oh,
She's in Cincinnati.
how about October?
I don't know who's on 2nd.
I'm gonna suggest
The
that
16th?
we do
30?
the 4th and have a later start.
7?
Is it okay?
Like what, 7:30?
7:30?
7:30.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Are we doing that just to try to get Sheila here? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will we be able to get her that late?
Most likely.
I don't know, but,
I mean, it isn't, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Give her enough
Yeah.
notice, maybe she can.
If we do it later, even if she comes in at 8 o'clock, because she's done that before in some of our other meetings, yeah. She whisks in. So why don't we go for Wednesday the 4th,
Okay.
7 PM?
7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
Yeah.
And you don't know which room yet?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm gonna, yeah, I would think it would be here. That was conservation 2nd and 4th.
2nd and 4th, okay.
So we should be okay?
You should be okay.
Okay.
I can't see anyone else meeting.
So that's September the 4th.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you look into that for me?
I will, yeah,
Thank you.
unless zoning, but.
Now, I had the last, it's not really business, this is more of a public service announcement. I have talked with a student who was interested in helping us out with videoing. If he is not able to, he's actually in the process of becoming an Eagle Scout too as well, but he's getting a badge in communications.
Oh, wow.
And communications, he asked me about coming here, and I said that he would need to fill out a volunteer form. The process for volunteer form, I'm still not familiar with. I don't know who I check with or whatever, but if something comes in, would it come across your desk, I hope?
I would think so if it's for housing. It
Yeah.
typically would go to Carolyn or Kathy.
Okay. Okay.
But would that be the case if It's for Hartley?
If they do it through the website, it should. Then I probably
Oh,
wouldn't get it. It would
it
probably
was on
go
the
to
website.
Hartley. But it first goes to Carolyn and Kathy.
Right, okay.
And
So
then
it just-
they'll disperse it to whomever.
Whoever it is, okay.
I feel like it should.
But in any event, if he is not able to fit it into his schedule, he said that he was going to bring it back to the scouts that are there. So if anybody's looking for, which is something that I didn't think about, because there is a communication badge in scouting, being an Eagle Scout myself. But if anybody's interested, we are looking for a videographer, and we'll be, just fill out a volunteer form on the town website, and we'd be more than glad to contact you, and we'll let you know the details as far as that is concerned. And that's all I have. You have? Entertain a vote?
To adjourn at 8:05. Yeah.
Okay, we'll adjourn at 8:05 PM. Thank you very much.
Thank you.